Welcome back to another trade recap. Today is May the 28th. Another upside move in the markets today after consolidating yesterday. We end up taking two trades today, one on Nvidia, which was a loser, and one on AMD, which was a nice win. With that being said, let's hop straight into my trading statistics to give you guys an update of my P&L for this month so far. I've not updated the P&L yet as of today. So far, $88,000 for the month. If we're including today's P&L, I did cross 100,000, which is nice. 57% trade win percentage, profit factor 3.88, day win percentage 68%, average win to loss ratio of close to 3. As you can see so far, as I scroll down onto my calendar, this week has been pretty solid. $10,000, including today's P&L, closer to 25 to 30. As you can see, only took three trades this week, one on AMD. Yesterday, I didn't take any trades. This was just a trailer position on the day prior. And then today took two trades. As I mentioned, one on Nvidia, which was a loser earlier into the day. And then I nailed the AMD setup towards the upside. So major winners this week were both on AMD. As for the trades, this is the trade that I ended up taking. It was the previous day high the reclaim of that 5-minute range high, which in this case was that Tuesday's highs for a push higher. We end up having that nice retest on that 5-minute range high all the way up and towards our all-time highs and above. Still holding a few contracts left on AMD. And then for the Nvidia trade, this was actually a mistake on my end. I went for the previous day high reclaim and it never broke above or reclaimed back above that previous day highs and actually rejected. And this was a very quick loss, right? Within 2 minutes, basically immediately stopped out of this trade. So that was an L. But before we hop into both those trades, let's talk about it a little bit about my game plan coming into market open. So the game plan today, there are a couple of things that we're looking for. MU above 910, right? AMD was in play as well for a push up in towards that 504. It ended up being that retest above 504 that was key. Tesla, a couple bounce plays, right? Coming to market open, we already had a pretty big move right off the lows. So coming into today, if you go into the 15-minute time frame, right, we're kind of opening up in between its previous day's range. And right off the bat, we kind of had that previous day high rejection. And then once we're able to reclaim back above, we had some news as well, right? That was a good sign that QQQ was going to gravitate towards the upside. SPY, similar kind of thesis here in between its previous day's range right off the bat. Once we got back above that 5-minute range high, we're looking for continuation higher, right? The game plan really was the hold of our last week's lows. Maintain above this level, maintain a bullish bias in the markets. For the Qs, maintain above our 724, maintain a bullish bias in the markets. You can see this a little bit more clear here on the futures charts. NQ, this is our higher low. This is the retest level as well. So as long as we maintain above this, we're going to maintain a bullish bias in the markets. ES, the key level that we have marked out was our 5720. You can see kind of broke underneath, look below, fail in the pre-market. Once we ended up holding it, continuation back up and towards our all-time highs, right? Just based off of the higher time frame charts here, of course. And then the SMH lagging just a little bit behind. Some of the semis were a little bit weaker today, but we maintained above our previous day lows. And as you can see, buyers kind of stepped in right off this 585, and we end up having this nice reversal back towards the upside. So coming to market open, what was I looking for? I was actually very patient today, right? Right off the bat, I really wanted to see the reaction that we had off of our previous day highs. That was key. So coming to market open, this is what the thesis, or this is what we had coming to market open. We had our 731, which happened to be that high that we created here on Tuesday. Also, we had multiple touches yesterday, as you can see. So coming into today, I want to see the break above our 731 for longs towards the upside. If we reject, then I'm going to be a little bit more hands off. Right off the bat, you can see we rejected within the first 5 to 10 minutes. So I was a little bit more patient, right? Didn't really look like anything that I saw. Microsoft was actually a name that I kept an eye out on. I just couldn't find a good entry. The best one would have been that previous day high retest. Was a little bit too slow to this, but then I was looking for that 5-minute range high. Never gave us a re-entry on Microsoft, but this one was by far probably the best trade of the day. But as for the scenario, let's go back onto the QQQ. So coming to market open, we're just being a little bit more patient until we broke back above our previous day highs. Plus, we had some news here as well. And that's what gave me conviction for now long side. It was now that we're above our 5 minute range high, we're above a key level here as well. So this is the exact level we want to see the market flip. Now we just like to see a hold of our 732, or sorry, 731 for continuation higher. QQQ, key level, as you can see right here, multiple touches. We have touch here, touch here, touch here. Once we're able to break above, flip, continuation back up and towards our all-time highs is in play. So that's what gave me a little bit more conviction towards the upside. One of the trades that I was looking for was on NVIDIA here. I was looking for the previous day high reclaim. I ended up marking off my level just a little bit wrong, and I was too aggressive on this one. It actually never broke above my previous day high. So I ended up entering in basically right at the top or close to the top here on this NVIDIA trade and immediately rejected. And you can see the 5 minute kind of rejecting off its previous day highs here as well, plus your high of day level. So this was just an immediate stop out, right? Could have definitely avoided this trade if I waited for like a 5 minute candle close or was a little bit more patient, or even if I had the correct level. I think I had a level marked off just a little bit wrong. So this one was a mistake on my end where I ended up going for the break above. It wasn't even a reclaim. The reclaim would have been above your previous day highs, but I ended up I think entering the reclaim for this 5 minute range high, which of course the previous day highs was right there. So looking back, should have avoided this trade just based off the higher time frames. No reason to be aggressive on Nvidia, but I ended up taking a loss on this one. Lost about $5,000 on Nvidia, and then end up looking for this AMD reclaim. The reason why I like AMD a lot better is because the higher time frame is bullish. Right, you can see Monday's price action. Of course, we have a gap up, continuation higher. Now Thursday. Sorry, this is Tuesday's price action. Wednesday, a little bit consolidation. Now coming to today, if we can get back above, we can see a move up and towards our previous day highs and of course our all-time highs. So for AMD, once we're able to break back above, this was a good sign for continuation towards upside. So right here, once we end up having that candle closure, right, entered in, stop a break underneath, looking for continuation back up and towards our previous day highs, and of course our 516. And at the exact same time, the overall market was flipping here as well. Nice buyer stepped in. AMD ended up holding our previous day, 5 minute range high very nicely. And as you can see, the 5 minute was basically perfect. Nice continuation all the way towards the upside. Qs, perfect hold of that 731. Just had to be a little bit more patient for continuation higher. And then for SPY, nice hold and push back up and towards high of day. So for AMD, we end up having a nice push all the way towards the upside and just kind of scaling along the ways, scaled like 50% up into this all-time highs and just kind of taking some trailers off as it gravitates up and towards our 525 and above. Still holding a few contracts left to see if we can continue the rest of the day. But yeah, besides that, those were the trades I ended up taking today. Pretty solid week so far, pretty solid month. The market continues to give us nice opportunities for continuation higher. With that being said, let's go on to the live session to show you guys exactly what I was looking for coming into today. As we speed up the tape here, you can see right Qs kind of rejected right off the bat. We're being a little bit more patient. For the first 30 minutes, there really wasn't too much that I saw. The only thing was Microsoft that was showing a lot of relative strength. Even this 1 minute order block here, I was interested in. This one, the first dip on Microsoft for the 425 calls went 100% in about about 3 to 5 minutes, which would have been super solid, right? So the first entry, the previous day highs, wasn't able to get that one. Never came back for the retest of that 5 minute range high, but this first order block one on Microsoft would have paid super nicely within 3 to 5 minutes. But that would have been a super nice scalp. And then we're just being patient, right? The overall markets really didn't do too much, but as soon as we end up having this pop with news, that's when I was interested in some upside above our 731. So for the overall markets, as we speed the tape up, we had Nvidia. So this trade, as I mentioned, as it was coming up, look for basically the reclaim, but immediately rejected. And then as it broke back underneath, right, immediate cut. Right, as soon as it rejected this level, broke back underneath, just cut my position. Very quick stop loss on Nvidia. And then for AMD, once it reclaimed back above, once the Qs was holding on that 5 minute time frame, entered in the AMD 510s, looking for continuation higher. Took a little bit longer to develop a nice push up and towards high of day. and then held, right? We're looking at this on the 5 minute time frame, basically held that 5 minute range perfectly, 506. And then we just end up having continuation all up in towards our key levels 520, and of course we end up having a nicer push higher as well with the cues. But yeah, that is really the live session for us today, just kind of quickly going over my thought process. With that being said, hopefully you guys did enjoy this recap. If you did, appreciate if you guys drop a like and sub. And with that being said, I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care everyone, have a great rest of the day. Peace.